We're having some trouble seeing cylinders and knowing which values to put where. I'm going to kind of look a little bit at some things from Sue Pruitt's blending class. And this is the gray value underpainting. And let me get something that I can point with. Okay. So we see that, back in the dark recesses, we have the darkest colors, and then we gradually come out to lighter, and the places that show up on the light source are very light. So one of the questions is how to know which value to use where. There's the rule of never jump more than 2 values at a time. So if you're starting with a 1, which is what the background is, and the next darkest area is right here on the edge of the leaf, we'll jump up no higher than a 3 right there. Because if we went to a 5, then there's too much contrast and it's not a smooth transition. So this would be a value 3. And right next to it, then we could go to a value 5. Because if we went to an 8 right here, we again have a stripe look. Okay, so let's say we put a value 5 right there. The next place we could go would be to a 7, which is right around in here. And then a 9. So it's just a progressive step up like a ladder, but never going more than 2 steps at a time. Let's see. Let's show here. We've got very, very dark right here, which is about a value 2 or 1. Now, you could also think of it as just very medium dark and low dark, or medium light and highlight. So let's say we've got our low dark right here, our darkest dark. Right next to it is not quite as dark, so that would be just dark. And next to that we have a medium, and next to that we have a light. Now this is a leaf that's not in the front, so we don't go all the way to highlight with this one because we want it to set back. And by not going all the way to highlight, then what we do is we create distance between, the illusion of distance between this petal and this petal. Here we have this petal that's right out in front, so we're not going to start with all the way down low dark. We're only starting with like a medium or dark right here. And then right next to it, let's say this is dark, and right next to it is a medium. And right here is a light, and on the edge is a highlight. And what we've done here is we've put the medium right in this area, and right next to it we've made a triangle area of light, because what this does is make this part bump up toward you. It pushes this edge and this edge back and this edge up for you. And we've created a round cylinder type area, just like my brush is round. This part on this edge of my brush would be dark, and this part would be dark, but this part would be light because this is the part that's up closest to you. And right here we have that cylinder effect because we've used darks underneath here, and then a dark right here on the edge, because this is the part where it's rolling away from you or rolling toward you. So we make this part pretty dark, but not as dark as this one behind it, because we want to show that this leaf or this petal is in front. So we create distance, and by using a contrast of a darker against just a little lighter. But as we get farther forward, then we have lighter, and because we're doing this, we're just pulling it over. And this is kind of the same principle as with the leaf. Look at this petal right here. it's curved. We have this part that's inside, and we know that this petal is curving over this one, and that this is a space down in the inside. It's a hollow space, and we create that by putting very dark there, especially down in here where it kind of goes away from us. And we put a little lighter right here. It's lighter here than it is on the background, but we get way up here to the highlight when we get to this edge, because this edge is in front of this petal. And this is a cylinder look. By using darks and lights to create the illusion of a roll, let me put this back down here again. We've used dark here and dark here. Okay, I'm not saying that very well, am I? Well, because this leaf stops right here, then we don't get the other dark. So let's think of it this way. We've got dark on this side to make that petal roll up over. And up here on the top of the cylinder is the light. And this part of this petal is the light part. If it kept on going and folded over again, then we'd have to have the dark again to show it folding completely over. And you can kind of see that a little bit here in the color also. Okay, let's look at this. Now you can tell that we've used value to ripple this blade leaf, because we start out kind of in the dark down here, and we come up to medium, and we get lighter because this part is folding over toward us. Here's a kind of a large cylinder, but if I put this right here, then this leaf is coming up over top of this, and then going back down again, and then coming back over top again. The same as what this leaf is doing. It's rolling up over the top of the cylinder and then coming back over. On this type of a leaf, we have the same thing. We put this cylinder right here on this side and on this side, and we have the center vein of the leaf is what's showing higher. I've got a couple of little leaves here that's kind of like that, and what we're trying to establish is that a leaf is like this in nature. A real leaf is like this. So you see how it folds over the cylinder and the part. Okay, so I'm gonna this is a large cylinder and my leaf is not that big, but I'm gonna come over this way and put this part of it up off the cylinder so that you can see that this half of the leaf folds over, and we put dark here and we put dark here and we put light here so that we can show that cylinder. And then we can keep rolling it and come to the other side, and now we have the cylinder on that half of the leaf. And you can see from the edges, let's see, I hope I can help you to see this. If you look at the edge, you see that little bump up over of the cylinder. If you look at it on the other side, then you can see the dip that goes here, comes back up at the vein, and then comes back down, and then back up again on this side.